Good evening, students. So, here I'm again discussing the summary of Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. So, let us see what happens in Bennet family, Bingley family, Darcy family, and Gardiner families, and so many characters are here. But yes, major characters are Bingley family, five sisters, and parents. Mr. Bingley and Mrs. Bingley. Then another family, that's Bingley family. Here we will meet three brother sister, Charles Bingley, right? Then Lady Hertz and married sister of Charles Bingley, and Carolina Bingley, unmarried girl. Along with these three brother sisters, their friend, family friend, Fitzwilliam Darcy comes with him. In Darcy family, Georgiana Darcy, right? Fitzwilliam Darcy will meet. And many characters are there. As far as Gardiner family is concerned, they are Mr. Gardiner is Mrs. Bennet's brother, real brother. So brother and sister-in-law we will meet, and there are different places. So let us start summary with these characters. The Bennet family lives in a society where marriage is women's primary means of security and social standing. And Pride and Prejudice reflects the societal status, and that's a London society, right? How, like, what's the significance of marriage? So, as we know that this novel is written on the marriage institution, and here marriage is a women's primary means of security and social standing. So they generally, it was the idea that if you get married with a rich person, the person who has good status in society, reputed person, so that automatically you will be given good good status, which is still prevailing in our society everywhere. So here in Bennet family, five daughters. Eldest one is Jane, then Elizabeth. Elizabeth Bennet is a female protagonist or heroine of the novel. Then third number is Mary, fourth number is Catherine or Kitty, and last one is Lydia, a very pampered child. So these five daughters and Mr. and Mrs. Bennet live in a place Longbourn, are all of the marriageable age, and almost from Jane to Lydia, all are of marriageable age. Their mother is desperate to see them married, and mother is a very simple and a little bit lethargic lady, but very sweet lady, and by heart very nice, and she is desperate to see uh, her all daughters married. Now they live in a Longbourn, but then in their neighborhood, arrival of Bingley family. So that's a Bingley come to their nearby. There is a one Netherfield Park where Bingley family come to live. Now a wealthy and amiable young man, Mr. Bingley. So Mr. Bingley, uh, Charles Bingley. So he comes, and here Mr. Bingley. So he rents Netherfield Park. This is the place, Netherfield Park, So he rents an estate near the Bannets. So this is near Bannet family's this Netherfield Park. He brings with him two sisters and his proud reserve friend Mr. Darcy. So two sisters, then Mr. Bingley and his friend. So then four people come to live. Bingley family along with Bingley family Darcy, they come to live nearby Bennet family. Now the first encounters and developing feelings. So Meryton ball. At a local ball, dancing club we can say, Jane Bennet and Mr. Bingley are instantly attracted to each other. So here they meet Jane Bennet and Mr. Bingley and they become friend immediately as they see each other. Now Mr. Darcy, however, snubs Elizabeth Bennet. So Mr. Darcy, he is sitting, he is not dancing. So Mr. Charles Bingley suggests him to dance with Elizabeth. She is also sitting. So you can invite her. So Mr. Darcy snubs Elizabeth Bennet. Why? Because he says that she is very like comes from moderate family. So he refused to dance with her, solidifying her negative first impression of him. But Elizabeth, she listens, and here she becomes very much biased to Mr. Darcy. Now, next is Wickham. Elizabeth meets a charming soldier. He is a soldier, Mr. Wickham, who tells her a fabricated story about how Mr. Darcy cheated him out of his inheritance. So Mr. Wickham, though he is a soldier, but he speaks lie. So he tells Elizabeth that how Mr. Darcy cheated him out of his inheritance, and I was supposed to be inherited property, but because of Mr. Darcy's father, I could not. So he does backbiting, and Elizabeth now she is more negative to Mr. Darcy. However, this further darkens Elizabeth's opinion of Darcy, but then later on it is clear. Now next is Jane's illness. Jane is invited to Netherfield and falls ill, so that Mr. Charles Bingley's sister Caroline Bingley invites Jane Bennet to Netherfield, but as Jane goes there. So on the way, because of rain, she becomes wet and she becomes ill. So forcing her to stay, she has to stay with the Bingley family. Elizabeth, is a very good sister and friend to Jane Bennet. So she is worried and she goes to take care of her sister, so leading to more encounters with Darcy. So here she meets Mr. Darcy, who despite his aloofness begins to admire her wit and liveliness. So Mr. Darcy gets impressed with Elizabeth this time, and he admires Elizabeth for her wit and liveliness. She is very lively, intelligent girl, Elizabeth. That is why Elizabeth is loved by her father. Her father likes Elizabeth most because of her wittiness and liveliness and frankness. Now, central conflict and climax. So, what happened? Bingley's departure. Now they are very good friends, Jane Bennet and Charles Bingley. But all of a sudden, Bingley's leave the place, and Bingley abruptly leaves Netherfield for London, and they shift to London, breaking Jane's heart. So Jane Bennet, she is disheartened. Elizabeth is convinced that Bingley's sister and Mr. Darcy conspire to separate them. So Elizabeth is convinced that Bingley's sister, who Mrs. Hertz or Lady Hertz married sister, and Caroline Bingley and Mr. Darcy, they all do conspiracy against Jane Austen, and this way they separate Jane Bennet and Charles Bingley. Now, next is Darcy's first proposal. While visiting her friend Charlotte, Charlotte Lucas, so what happened in the meanwhile? Uh, Elizabeth goes to Charlotte Lucas, her very good friend. So she visits to Charlotte's home, where she encounters Mr. Darcy, Fitzwilliam Darcy. He unexpectedly proposes, and here Darcy realized the love with Elizabeth. So he proposed. All of a sudden, he proposed um, Elizabeth, declaring his love for her, and he openly expresses his love for Elizabeth, but also insulting her family's low social status, and at the same time he insults Elizabeth's low social status. So Elizabeth, engaged by his arrogant manner and her belief that he separated Bingley and Jane, vehemently rejects him. And she says that you conspired, and because of you, my elder sister Jane and Mr. Charles Bingley are separated. So he is aliegated. Who? Mr. Darcy is aliegated by Elizabeth. Now the letter. The next day, Darcy gives Elizabeth a letter. So Darcy gives a letter to Elizabeth explaining his actions. He reveals that Wickham is a liar. He says that no, what Wickham has told you, it's wrong. And then he says that Wickham is a liar and a scoundrel, cheater, who tries to elope with Darcy's sister Georgiana. He says that he tried to elope my real sister Georgiana to get her money, because so that he can get money. He also explains that he believed Jane's affection for Bingley's were not serious. And he says that I believe Jane's affections for Bingley were not serious. He said that I had not idea that Jane is very much serious for Charles Bingley, which is why he discouraged Bingley from pursuing her. And that is why, being a friend, I said no need to pursue Jane, because I don't think so Jane is serious to you. But I was wrong. He admits. Who admits? Fitzwilliam Darcy admits in front of Elizabeth. Now, the letter dramatically shifts Elizabeth's perspective, and he writes, it's all about in letter. So he writes one letter and she's reading the letter. So that next is Elizabeth's elopement. Elizabeth learns that her youngest sister Lydia has eloped with Mr. Wickham. She has run away with Mr. Wickham, bringing shame upon the entire family. So it was very shameful to entire family. The family's reputation is at jeopardy or risk. So she thinks that my family's reputation will be tarnished. So now what happened? Resolution and happy ending. But finally everything is fine. Why? Because Darcy's intervention. It is later revealed that Mr. Darcy found Wickham and paid him off to marry Lydia. So Mr. Darcy secretly and silently paid Mr. Wickham and says and convinced him to get married with Lydia, saving the Bennet family's honor. This way, Bennet family's risk, impression, Bennet reputation is saved. He did this quietly, not for Elizabeth's thanks, but to atone for not exposing Wickham earlier. So he did this quietly. He does not make any announcement or does not express, not for Elizabeth's thanks. Even he does not want to impress Elizabeth, but to atone for not exposing Wickham's earlier. But he helps. Then Bingley and Jane reunited. In the meanwhile, Bingley returns and proposes to Jane. So Bingley comes and he proposes to Jane and they get engaged. And now they get engaged. The second proposal, Darcy have humbled his pride. Now his pride is diluted. Proposes to Elizabeth a second time. This time Elizabeth, having overcome her prejudice, happily accept, and now Elizabeth accepts Darcy's proposal, and at the end, the double wedding, the story ends with the marriage of Jane Bingley and Elizabeth Darcy, symbolizing the triumph of the true love and mutual understanding over pride and prejudice. Why? Because who has pride? Mr. Fitzwilliam Darcy has pride. And who is biased or prejudice? Elizabeth, of course. But at last everything is settled and then mutual understanding is developed, and finally we find three couple, Jane and Charles Bingley, and number 2 Elizabeth Bennet and Mr. Fitzwilliam Darcy, second couple. Third couple is Lydia Bennet and Wickham. So this way happy ending, and that we come to know that what's the social status of women, marriage institution and other things we come to know, right? So thank you so much. God bless you.